Did you put a fucking mod in this?
No.
Spider-Man does whatever a spider can. Spins a web and he's not out.
This video is insanely rushed. As of recording this, I have a trip I'm leaving on in like 2 days. And furthermore, I don't think I have that much to say, really. But because people want to know, because I'm the Metal Gear guy, I guess, I think it's worth talking about my thoughts on Metal Gear Solid Delta, the new Metal Gear Solid 3 remake. And I have some thoughts. I'm not sure what they are yet, though. So take this as more like a first impression kind of thing. Because as of recording this, I just beat Delta, spent 24 hours thinking about it, and I'm still not entirely sure what to think, so don't expect anything too fancy, okay? So it's no secret Metal Gear Solid 3 is one of my favorite games of all time. I made an entire over hour-and-a-half long video just analyzing the thing, because Metal Gear Solid 3 really is that good. What is on the surface a military stealth action game with great gameplay is by the end and underneath it all a scathing critique of the Cold War. It's a game about disillusionment and emotion control. It's a deconstruction of masculinity and the James Bond power fantasy, and its themes are relevant even and especially nowadays.
The philosophers of today have no sense of good or evil. Their influence extends to countries and organizations involved in every aspect of every war. They have become war itself.
I fucking love Metal Gear Solid 3, obviously. I love this game. There's no denying, however, Metal Gear Solid 3, being like 20 years old now, has shown its age. I think it's aged pretty well, all things considered, at least in terms of presentation. But gameplay-wise, yeah, this is an old-ass game. And while there is a lot of detail, you can definitely feel the jank in a lot of areas. Metal Gear Solid Delta, however, aims to fix this. This is a shot-for-shot remake of Metal Gear Solid 3, a game that's faithful almost to a fault. It's Metal Gear Solid 3, but it looks and plays better, and that's kind of all it really is. It's also kind of a little bit more, it's kind of weird, and so are my thoughts. My opinions are very weird. I'm not entirely sure what to make of this thing. I've had many fans of mine ask me which version of Metal Gear Solid 3 they should play, whether it's the original or the then upcoming and now currently out remake, and obviously I wasn't really able to answer since the remake wasn't out yet, but my question in response would always be, do you want to get into Metal Gear or Hideo Kojima? Because if the answer is the latter, well, obviously go with the original. I'm gonna assume you already know why Kojima no longer works on Metal Gear and the breakup between he and Konami. So TLDR, Kojima hasn't been involved with Metal Gear for like 10 years now. So as a result of all of that, no matter how good Metal Gear Delta would be, it simply put wouldn't be Kojima's. Kojima had absolutely nothing to do with Metal Gear Solid Delta. So Metal Gear Solid Delta couldn't be and can't be Kojima's vision. And I'm not saying that to demean any devs who worked on the game, obviously, but I am saying if you want to know why Kojima is so revered, you should play a work that's by the guy himself. But what about that former question though? What if you just want to get into Metal Gear? And the answer, because the game wasn't out yet, was I don't really know. I'm not sure yet. But now that it's out, I honestly still can't really answer. I bought the deluxe edition, sat on this game for 24 to 48 hours, and I still don't know.
I'm a gold man.
It is one of the most conflicting I have ever felt about a piece of art. Because yeah, sure, Metal Gear Solid Delta is technically a better game. And I'm talking purely gameplay-wise here. The controls, movement, crouch walking, this is all great stuff. Some of the bosses are trivialized because of the third-person aiming, though. But simple answer, yeah, the gameplay is better. The game is a lot of fun, I will say. But, I don't know, man. Because honestly, I don't think the game does that good of a job at justifying its existence. And in some cases, it actually downgrades from the original in key areas. First of all, being performance. This game, in my experience, was an unoptimized disaster. This game drops frames like a motherfucker. I'm playing on a 3080 Ti, and performance was still pretty abysmal for me. This is apparently even the case on PS5 Pros, as well as all consoles. So the game is just a complete technical nightmare. The game also really hated me trying to record it, as my usual programs would crash the game when I tried recording the thing. Something I've never had with any modern game I've played. There's also a bug where if you go into the extras menu and try and back out of it, if you have a multi-monitor setup like me, the game starts freaking out all over your computer. It'll go to monitors you don't want it to be on, it'll start going on multiple monitors, and trying to fix the game in the graphics menu causes the game to crash. There's also a 30 FPS cap, a 60 60 FPS cap and nothing else in a game released in 2025, and fans have already fixed this, by the way, and it's like, what are we doing here? Now, the devs have said they are patching the game, with there already being a 2.5 gigabyte sized patch. And the game seemed to run better to me, but I don't know, as my normal methods of recording still just didn't really work that well. And judging that it took Konami 4 months to put a volume slider into Metal Gear Solid the Master Collection, while meanwhile Silent Hill 2, the remake, while still having performance issues on PC, has been completely abandoned since January, I can't help but be concerned, you know? Like, man, I hope the video game I bought functions soon. And yeah, again, the Master Collection has been very heavily fixed to a very good point now, but it took them almost a year to do so. And part of it is, Unreal Engine 5. But even then, I've played numerous Unreal Engine 5 games, and Metal Gear Delta is legitimately one of the worst I've played, rivaled only by Stalker 2 in my experience, which at that point, my dead grandpa runs better than Stalker 2, so, the bar is very low. But okay, what about the game itself? Well, that's the weird thing. Now we're back to the weirdo shit. I do like how most, if not all, the characters look in this thing. It's the right balance between faithfulness and fidelity. It's like how you imagine them to look on that original PS2 hardware. Big Boss looks like a big boss, as you all know him. The boss actually looks like a middle-aged woman this time, wrinkles and all. The Fury's high-textured suit makes me piss my pants. Overall, the models, I feel, are very gorgeous. My favorite, weirdly enough, was Eva of all people. She is a fucking gongus in this game. Like, in the OG game, she's a PS2 model, okay? It makes a lot of the sexy scenes a little awkward unintentionally, when the character it's coming from is kind of one giant pale mannequin. But in Delta, holy guacamole, I understand it now. I get the vision. If I were a big boss, I would absolutely fold. Step on my balls, mommy. I need to be called a good boy for mommy.
I'll stand watch until dawn. Now be a good boy and lie down.
The downside, though, is that select scenes look significantly worse. For example, the nuke scene. In the original game, look how powerful and otherworldly it looks. How blinding the light is. It really emphasizes how scary nuclear weapons are. The kind of incomprehensible destruction they can create. While in Metal Gear Delta, it looks like a generic mushroom cloud. Where's the power, the blinding light? All that is just gone now all of a sudden. Or how about when the end is introduced? There's this giant, beautiful, dreamlike glow behind him, which makes sense as this guy is kind of meant to represent death in a way. So it makes sense that the guy who's on his final hunt would have 1 foot on Earth and 1 foot in some kind of afterlife. Meanwhile, in Delta, it's just some light rays. The sky is no longer a pure white. Now you can see the actual blue sky. And it ruins the point that this guy named The End is meant to be Oblivion. One guy who is 1 step away from being dead. Now it just looks like he's a guy with a sniper rifle, I guess. The final boss against the boss also has this. The dreamlike hue of the original is completely missing now, which is weird because this is like the end of the game, the final showdown, and one of the most emotional climaxes in the entire franchise. The biggest offender, though, is the boss's grave scene, the ending. Holy shit, what did they do? And this is meant to be the bleakest, saddest scene in the game, and now they removed the heaven-like, dream-like glow and added the color back. What the fuck? It just looks cheap as well. Like, what the fuck is this? And not to mention, once again, it just misses the point. The optimistic glow and the heroism of the boss juxtaposes with Snake barely holding it together. It helps emphasize the glorification of war and how we often ignore the casualties, the detrimental effects of action hero masculinity, and of course, on top of that, this kicks off Big Boss's story. This is like the most important scene in the whole series, I'd argue. Logging in on this moment should have been a priority, and it wasn't, clearly. Now, some people might say this is nitpicking, mostly from people who never actually played MGS3, and to those people, if you were right, I wouldn't even be talking about this. These scenes are the most important in the game, if not the whole franchise. It makes the scenes less impactful, which is not a good thing at all, especially for people who have never actually played MGS before and want to get into it. The impact of what makes Metal Gear Solid special might be lost on new players. But okay, let's say you don't give a shit about any of this still. Bad performance does not bother you, neither do the visuals of the most important scenes ever. How is the rest of the game? Well, it's incredibly faithful, I will say. Aside from the obvious key scenes, I do otherwise like how the game looks. The texture work is very nice and all that. And aside from the controls, the level design is the exact same, which, yeah, great, it's Metal Gear Solid 3, but it plays better. But weirdly enough, that's kind of also the biggest problem I have. Because again, I'm left asking, what's the point of this? Oh, let me put this into perspective for you, alright? In order to play Metal Gear, you have two options. You can either spend 30 to 60 bucks on a Master Collection copy, if not less than that considering used copies and or sales, and you, as a result, get Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, and 3, and a bunch of bonus content. And the version of Metal Gear Solid 3 may be jankier gameplay-wise, being like 20 years old. You can't count the pores on Ocelot's face, none of that, but it runs better, and in crucial areas even kind of looks better, and of course, it's still Metal Gear Solid 3. Or you can spend $70 on Metal Gear Solid 3, a game with the same story and level design and even reused voice lines and mocap, but this time it looks better at the expense that it runs way fucking worse, and they fucked up some of the most crucial scenes visually as well, and those scenes just so happen to be the most important in the franchise, and the gameplay is better, it's less janky, it's more fluid, it's fun, which would be fine if the original game weren't one of the greatest video games ever made. The bigger irony is that under Konami, Metal Gear's sister franchise, Silent Hill, also got a remake, but the Silent Hill 2 remake actually does justify its existence, I feel, with a number of changes and overhauls that bring surprises to old players, while still being just as impactful for new players. Sadly, ironically, the original Silent Hill 2 is not available on modern platforms, even though I think at this point it might deserve it a little more, but the remake, I think, does a good job at being a remake, and justifying an artistic existence for itself. Look, I don't want to sit here and be like, Metal Gear Delta's a bad game. It really isn't. I had a lot of fun with it, sure. I'll probably keep going back to it for a bit, which is why I don't think this is a definitive review still, to be honest. And there is a cool new shit in it, like the new Guy Savage by Platinum Games, or the new Snake vs. Monkey mode. That's a lot of fun with Astrobot in it too. But even then, I just don't see why you would buy this over the Master Collection. And even if you are a returning fan like me, you'll probably just end up confused like me. Like, wow, yeah, this is really fun and all, but why does this exist? And why is the performance bad? And why is the ending visually worse? Overall, I just don't know, man. Metal Gear Delta has me feeling really weird. I just don't know what to think of it. Well, hopefully the mod support will be good at least. Hey, thanks for watching, everyone. I leave for my flight in like 5 hours.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? The live stream is starting right now.
I just want to say, by the way, I also make music. I have a second channel for it. I might as well promote it, so check it out if you want. Okay, bye.
Fuck you in the lanes you came with. Me and you ain't on the same shit. You ain't in my lane, bitch, nah. Throw that shit in fifth, rollie on my wrist. Ay, baby, you a star, I'm my only wish. I'm counting blue hundreds, I'm too money. Ay, and my little bitch, she too lovely. Yeah, hanging up and calling me right back. Ay, baby, why you calling me like that? Yeah, getting high with the seat laid back. Baby, gon' relax, yeah. Hey, they don't know the half, yeah. No matter what happened, I got your back. Baby, that's the facts, yeah. That's the facts, yeah. And we can fight, but the feeling's gone. I try to find the words, but they never come. I can still see you on the lawn. Hey, laying outside in the summer sun. Yeah, we can fight, but the feeling's gone. I try to find the words, but they never come. I can still see you on the lawn, hey, laying outside in the summer sun. Hey, I'm with a dark-skinned girl on a Sunday, that's that Black Sabbath. She put them ones all down on a Hyundai, yeah, she had to have it. Baby, that's the facts, yeah, that's the facts, yeah.
Life isn't about passing your genes, it's about how many messages you send in WhatsApp and how fun you will have while using it.
I'm a gold man. Gold man.